am standing in the middle of the Caves of Hercules. This is the heart of Tangier. This is where the story of Tangier began. When we was growing up, we were told that Hercules came to this part of the world, separated the two continents of Africa and Europe, and settled on this side of the Mediterranean. This is the place, not too far from here, where Christopher Columbus had the crazy idea of sailing due west in search of India. This place was settled by Phoenicians, and who brought with them olives and other good things. And then after them came the Romans, and after the Romans came the Vikings, and a number of other nations and civilizations, including Arabs. And then, of course, over time, the Portuguese, the British, the Spanish, and the French. And all these civilizations have left their traces in this city. So as you walk in Tangier, you'll see layers of civilization, one on top of the other. You could see those civilizations in people's faces. You'll see them in the cafes. You can smell them actually in the streets as you walk the narrow alleys of the Medina. You could see it in the colors of the bazaar, in the items sold in bazaars. You will find it in people's faces, in their smiles, the way they speak and carry themselves. Tangier is poetry in motion. Tangier is literature in action. Tangier is the place that attracts and repels at the same time. See, Yussef, I had been expecting the honor for 7 years. See, Yussef finally decided to sit next to me. My first instinct was to thank the weather. It had rained in Tangier all day, and on that December afternoon, one had the impression that the apocalypse was finally at hand. There were only a few people in Yussef's cafe, and among them, I was the most regular. As he opened the door, pushed by a violent gust of wind and rain, Sir Yussef barely managed to hold himself steady. He stumbled a little, quickly resumed his majestic posture, and gave a gentle, faint smile to the congregation of men that assembled in that cafe for no other reason than to wait for the evening or the night when they would have to go back to their other lives. He looked up at the television screen, which was displaying the regular afternoon feature of Japanese cartoons dubbed into Spanish, and seemed to acknowledge in a rather reasonable fatherly gesture the relevance of that irrelevant show. He knew that it was useful, but whether it was useful to the handful of men scattered inside Yussef's cafe was not the question.